On any reflection, existence itself appears to be exceptionally improbable, and yet we exist. And I mean this on an atheistic understanding or a theistic understanding. Think for a moment about the following phenomena. 1. An actual universe came into being and currently exists. Time, space, matter, and energy might not have existed, but instead they do exist. 2. This space-time universe exhibits profound diversity and complexity among the life to which it has given rise. 3. The universe is peopled by rational, purposive, willing, sentient, feeling human beings. 4. Human beings are both animal and spiritual, exhibiting moral values and in an aesthetical sense, the ability to perceive beauty and ugliness, right and wrong, good and evil. 5. Human beings exhibit the universality of a religious impulse and an intrinsic sense of the divine. Now, as we look back on our consideration of the likelihood of different states of affairs, how likely, in a cumulative way, can we imagine that these things are true, which we all recognize these things are true? How can we imagine these things are true if God does not exist? These phenomena, they're incredible on their own, even without an explanation, but what strikes me as an even more astronomically remarkable claim, just an incredible, meaning not credible, an incredible claim, is that they simply explain themselves. That is the positive entailment of the atheistic philosophy. And yet, this is exactly what the atheists would have us believe. Anthony Kenny of Oxford, himself an agnostic, has said a proponent of the Big Bang Theory, at least if he is an atheist, must believe that the universe came by nothing, from nothing. The theist, on the other hand, naturally infers that these phenomena must have behind them a power great enough to make them so. Effects do not surpass their antecedent causes any more than a stream rises above its source. Theism is strange, yes. Christian theism is strange, yes. But atheism is stranger. As I hope I've shown, God's existence is not only obvious, but is logically consistent, it's empirically adequate, and it's experientially relevant. Further, arguments against it fail. And for those reasons, in the case of a formal debate, it is the preferred position. Thank you.
Now, Gannon has used all this time. We're not surprised. Now, August has about 7 minutes to speak.
Good. Okay, well, I was listening very carefully, and I still don't know what a God is. I still don't know how a God does anything. I still don't know how we can tell the difference between a revelation and a hallucination. Gannon said that I had not made the case for atheism. Well, I spoke of a lack of evidence, a lack of compelling reason to believe, and gave some good reasons not to believe. There are actually two kinds of atheism. One makes the positive claim God does not exist, and the other makes the claim that we lack a belief due to lack of evidence and lack of compelling reason, which is actually much closer to the definition of the word atheism. The roots a meaning without, and theism, belief in God. So I am without a belief in God, but I am willing to change my mind if some evidence or compelling reason comes forward. Let's see. Gannon said that the existence of God is one of the most important questions of our lives. We actually don't know if it's an important question or not, because we don't know what a God is, and we don't know if a God intervenes in our life. So it may or may not be important. We don't know. Gannon says it's intuitively obvious that there's a God. Well, no, it's not. Not to many of us. He listed a number of famous believers, mostly in the past. If you look at the National Academy of Science members, these are the top scientists in the United States, in the National Academy of Sciences, 72% are atheists. So a lot of us remain unconvinced. He said the universe is not self-explanatory. Well, God is not self-explanatory either. In fact, as I pointed out, God has an even greater need for an explanation than the universe does. He said that God, this is a paraphrase, God condescended to reveal himself in certain ways. Well, note the word condescended. Again, a put down of humans. He has to lower himself to intermingle with us, measly humans. He talked about philosophical naturalism. Well, everything that we know to be true has a material, a naturalistic explanation. We're not saying that we know that this precludes supernatural explanations. I'm open to a supernatural explanation, but how would we verify it? We hear supernatural claims, we don't see any evidence behind these claims. So everything that we know to be true, that we rely on, has a naturalistic basis. You said that atheists claim that science is everything. Well, science is the only verifiable means we have of knowing anything. Revelation has been a failure. We respect science, but we don't worship it. He talked about rude, crass empiricism, and your eye up against a tile and that you're too close. Well, empiricism could look at something from any angle and any distance, so I don't really see what the point of that argument is. He said that philosophical constructs, and he listed a bunch of them, must be rooted in theism. But if the God you believe exists were to kill himself right now, what would change? Nothing. He said that existence is improbable. Well, this may or may not be true, but one thing we do know is that God is even more improbable. In closing, I'd like to repeat the quote that the invisible and the non-existent look very much alike. Thank you.